Welcome to
Doodle time!
We'll mess around with some crayons today and draw Rumi, the main character from KPOP. We'll draw her in her How It's Done outfit, ready for performance. Grab your crayons, let's get started. So grab your paper, grab your crayons. So to draw Rumi, we'll start off by giving ourselves an outline of our head. So for that, I'm drawing with a black crayon a little oval shape. Shaping in a little bit of the neck. A guide for where the shoulders are going to land. The shoulders coming down to the arms, the elbows are, and down to the wrists. Other side, we'll do the same thing, where the hand is going to land. Put in a bit of a crease for the elbow. Get the arms in. Figure out where the collar is going to go. And start to shape in the head. Angling in the bottom of the chin. And cheeks going up. And round the top of that off to where the head will be. Now we've got a bit of an idea of the shape of this drawing. Gonna put in the jacket. The bottom of the jacket going up to the sleeves. And we're using real light pressure here. Since this is just a guide for us to go in and correct later on, we want to give ourselves some space to be able to make corrections. We don't want anything to be permanent yet, in case something doesn't work out. So I'm figuring out the top of her ponytail, how that's going to land, and how that's going to shape behind the body. I'm kind of following this shape right here. Drawing in where the bottom of the shirt ends and where the pants start, where the belt will go. Now Rumi's got a bit of a shoulder pad on one side of this jacket. We're putting that in place. Now for the head, we found the center point from the top to the bottom of the head. We're going to draw a line there and one line dividing the left and right side in half. Now the head is divided into two parts, the top half and bottom half. The line in between is where our eyes are going to land. And halfway between that line and the bottom, we'll draw another little line. That's where the nose will land. And halfway between the nose and the chin is where we'll put our mouth. Get the ears in place. So my crayon's starting to get a little blunt here. I want to sharpen that, and this is how I do it. I take a separate piece of paper. I'm folding it in half just because. And I start rubbing the crayon sort of at an angle, just like this. Keep rubbing, and it sharpens the tip of my crayon, just like that. Oh, I left a little smudge here while I was sharpening. We can fix that later. Won't rub off. Oh well. So now that my crayon's sharpened, I'm going to go in and do a thicker outline using my guide as a reference. At this point, I can start to put in more detail, as I'm doing now with the collar. On the bottom of the collar, I'm going to draw a line down, and that's going to be the edge of our jacket. Bottom of the jacket, there's a bit of a kind of like a trim, so I'm going to put that in place. Then we've got this little flap, so I'm going to add that to the end of the jacket. That's where our zipper is. The inside of the edge of the jacket next to the sleeve. Making sure my shoulders are in the right place. Now I can start fixing up the sleeve. So there's a little zipper pocket on the side of the jacket. I'm going to put that in place right now. Then there's a patch that sits here on this side of the jacket. So I'll get to that later, but I just want to give a little outline for where it's going to end up. Finishing up the sleeve. Bring this side down. So that's one half of the jacket done. And there's a little choker necklace on the neck. Another necklace below that. Now we can put in the other collar. This side has a bit of a flappy end. Whoops, we'll fix this side. And just going along my original outline, making the outline a lot thicker, darker, and adding any little details. Now the shoulder pad, give that some shape. And bring the sleeve down. Just like that. Bottom of the shirt. Now the neck. Top of the pants. Now I'm kind of feeling out where all the fingers on the hands are going to go and putting those in place. So that's kind of roughed in. Now these hands over here, I'm gonna follow this line down. That lets me know where the bottom of the arm is, where it lines up with the wrist. And now figuring out where all my fingers are gonna be. Now shaping in Rumi's head. Now we're going over our original outline, applying a little bit more pressure now. Get our ears in. Now the hairline. Now the ponytail kind of starts from the top of the head in the middle and extends out to the back. And we're doing these short curved lines and using that to give this illusion of texture in the hair. Going behind Rumi, following this shape right here. Now the hair is roughed in place. Once we color that in, it'll be easier to see. Now getting nostrils in. The bridge of the nose, I just do 2 little short strokes. And the lips. The eyes are tricky. Let's see. I'm gonna give a curved shape that kind of goes up at the end to represent eyelashes. Oh, this is tricky with such a blunt crayon. And connecting each of those ends to the other end in kind of an almond shape, putting pupils in place. Now we kind of got the overall shape pieced in. Just gonna do straight lines for eyebrows. Okay, that's something. Now there are these white stripes that run along each side of Rumi's jacket. So I'm using my black crayon to kind of give me an outline. And this will guide me when I'm coloring in the jacket. It'll tell me to leave space for a little bit of a white strip. And I've started to put in some texture that we find in Rumi's both of her sleeves. Kind of like a cloud pattern in front or like a fish pattern. And then another pattern on this side. So just roughing that in right now. Once we get our colors out, we'll become a bit more detailed in this area. The bottom panel of the jacket and the white stripe on the other side, giving myself a little bit of a guide. All right, now for colors. The most distinct color on Rumi, I think, is her hair. So I'm going to start off lightly with purple. Start to color in all her hair, nice and lightly. Just in case I want to introduce another color to this mix and blend it with something else. But we'll just start off light to begin with, applying soft pressure with our purple crayon. Now for the jacket. Bold yellow. So remember that little guide we left for the stripe? We're gonna keep that in mind when we're coloring this in. And make sure there's a little space for a white stripe that runs along the top of the jacket, along the shoulders, and down each sleeve. Making sure I leave a little bit of space for that white stripe. And the rest of the sleeve, just like that. Okay, now, I think the other side of the jacket. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the left side of the jacket, leaving a little space beside my original guide for the white stripe. I won't be able to go over the yellow with white later on, so I just kind of have to give myself that room right now. So leaving a little space for that white stripe, just like that. Going all the way around and filling this up. I'm also not going to go over that kind of square guide I left for the patch. I'll leave that white for now. So following this white line, going around this patch, filling up the rest of this jacket. Oh, right. And the cuffs of the jacket. We'll color those in now. Now, Rumi's skin. I don't have the exact color to match the color of Rumi's skin, so what we're gonna do is try and blend some colors together. I'm gonna start with a pink. I'm gonna lightly go over everywhere there's skin. Do the same with the hands, fingers, other hands. Cool, cool. Now all the details on the head, including the neck. Get all that filled in nice and lightly, applying soft pressure with the pink crayon. I'm gonna add some colors to the lips now. Top lip, bottom lip, with a darker red. Okay. Now this little pattern on Rumi's jacket, I'm gonna use some purple and start putting in little details. And I'm gonna start to color this in, leaving a little bit of space. I'm gonna leave that white right now, but blue's gonna end up going there. So I just wanna check if this blue is the right color. Good, I like it. So what I did is I grabbed a separate piece of paper and I use that to kind of check the color so I don't end up putting it on my drawing if I don't actually like it to begin with. And I'll start to put in these little wavy lines that Rumi's got on her jacket. And there's almost separate layers of lines, leaving space of white in between, and I can fill that in with the color later on. Or now. So I'm going in, I like how this pattern's sort of coming together. I want the purple a bit darker, so I'm gonna go in applying harder pressure or firmer pressure with the purple. Going into these white spots right now, applying firm pressure. So I'm going to take this purple and continue these wavy lines lower. Fill that in. Thinking. Now to put in some of the shapes at the bottom of the jacket pattern. There's like a weird diamond shape here. And another wavy line. So I'll put that in place with blue. So taking the black crayon now, I'm going in, just finding the edge of this jacket. Getting my outline in place. So I'm going to use black to do the bottom panel of the jacket, that little trim at the bottom. And this black will be used in place at the bottom of this pattern on the jacket as well. And all the empty white spaces in between the blue, I'm going to fill in with black. So this crayon's getting a bit blunt, so I'm just gonna just kind of grind it against this paper to kind of sharpen it. So I'm holding it at an angle and just rubbing it on all sides until it sharpens up a little bit. That's better. So while my crayon is sharp now, I'm going to go over my outline, making it a lot darker and a lot thicker. Because since I've added the color in, the outline isn't looking that as bold as it was originally. So we'll remedy that now. I'm actually bored of outlining, so I'm going to go grab my red crayon and add the stripe for the shoulder pad. Because besides that stripe, I think the rest is just black. So again, as I said before, going over the outline a third time, using very firm pressure. I like a thick outline, especially since I'm a messy colorer. A bold outline will hide a lot of the imperfections I have with my coloring and just make the drawing pop. So the top of the collar, I'm gonna fill that in with black. I'll do the same with this little trim at the end of the jacket on our left side, where the zipper is. Color that in black, nice and thick. And the collar on the other side, it kind of hangs off the end a little bit. What I want to do now is get the detail in on the sleeves of the jacket. What I'm doing is mixing two colors together. I'm using my blue and green to make sort of a turquoise, aquamarine kind of color. So there's like 3 of those stripes on either side. I didn't really give myself a guide on this side. I'll just wing it. 3 stripes, mixing green and blue together. And then we've got this kind of like a fish scale pattern. So I'm gonna fill this up with a bit of red. Same thing on this side. I jump around quite a bit. I should stop doing that if I'm trying to help you guys figure out how to draw this thing. So I got bored of the sleeve, as you can see. Now I've jumped back to playing around with some outlining and filling in. And on top of the red for this kind of fish scale pattern on the sleeve, I'll go in with some black. Okay. Now all the little empty spaces I'll fill in with yellow. I was gonna do the pants pink, but that would look too much like the skin. So I found a darker color. Going with this dark pink, burgundy, red, kind of hot pink color. And that'll be the pants. So just fill in the belt line to start with. Belt loops. Outlining the hands. And the edge of that belt line before I add my other color to the pants. And we'll fill everything below that with our black. Give the top of the pants an outline. Let's go over that one more time. And our belt loops. See if we can make those stand out a bit more. So with the black crayon, I'm going around the sleeve and kind of just outlining everything that I've left till now. So the side of the sleeve. Put a little crease in for the inside of the elbow. And the left side, left sleeve. The rest of this hand outlined. Look at that. And just finish off the left shoulder there. And the hair that's all behind Rumi, just like that. I'm going to continue this outlining all the way up, finish up the head and her hair. So to give some shape to the face, I'm going to darken the area right underneath Rumi's eyebrows. And I'll do the same thing with Rumi's neck. And I'll do the same on Rumi's stomach. Almost as if the jacket is casting a bit of a shadow on her. Same with her shirt. So just going over very lightly with the red crayon over the original pink that we did. Darken that up a little bit. Same with the nose area. and the ears. I'm gonna go over the skin one more time with pink. It's looking a little faded right now, so just to bring everything up and make the color stand out a little bit more. I'll do the same with the fingers, the fingies. Same with these fingies. I think the face needs another pass too. Just to bring the color up in the whole image. Now I've got my purple crayon again. I'm going to go in to the hair and just adding another layer of purple, just to make that a bit more bold. I like the color we chose. I think we can just make it more vibrant and darken it up a bit. So applying a lot more pressure now, going in and filling in all the areas of the hair. I'm going to take my dark red now and make the eyebrows stand out a little bit more. Same with the lips. Let's see if we can bring those eyes out a bit more. Tough to do. Crayon's a bit tricky sometimes. Outline the eyes a bit more. And now we can start figuring out what to do with this patch. So in the middle of the patch, there's like a bit of a stripe of colors, and behind that it says Rumi. So I'm gonna fit in the letters right now, make sure I have enough space for that. I'm gonna start with the R. U-M-I. So I've split this middle little stripe with yellow and red. There's actually a lot more detail that's supposed to go there, but my crayons aren't quite precise enough to give it more detail. So I'll simplify it. I want to add a bit of orange to the skin tone. So going over the skin again with some orange. Applying light pressure, kind of going over everything we did, giving it a bit more color. So everywhere there's skin, the stomach, the hands, the face, going over with another coat, another layer, applying light pressure, trying to bring these eyelashes out a little bit. See if we can bring some colors in the eyes. Tough to see from this angle. Whoops, I messed those nostrils up. Oh, that's so bad. I gotta do something about this. Oh dear. Let's see if I can just turn this into a shadow. Oh man, what have I done? Okay, ignore the nose, because that's a mess. Just giving shape to the bottom of the eyes there. Now I gotta figure out what to do with this background. I'm gonna be spontaneous, random, make some blob shapes in the background. I've got one big blob, big blob behind Rumi. I'll do another one in blue, kind of making them overlap. Maybe another one here. And now I can fill these blobs in with color. I didn't think ahead, so this is what I've ended up with. Deal with it. I'm gonna fill in this main blob, fill all that in with orange. So I'm gonna leave the space where two different shapes intersect, and each shape will be a different color. So I'll go through and fill all this out. All right, that shape is done. So I'm taking blue, because blue complements orange pretty well. And I'll start filling up some of the other shapes. And I'm filling these in with stripes all kind of going in one direction per shape. It makes it look neat and orderly. And I don't quite feel it like filling up this entire space with a solid color. I think the stripes are less jarring. Now I'm going to take a random color. I'm going with this red. And I'll define the outline of these blobs a little bit more. And then the blue blobs, blue blob. The blue blobs I'll do with a blue. Just refining their outline. Making their shape stand out a little bit more. Then the shape in between where the shapes meet, I'll fill that in with the green. Doing similar stripes, all going in one direction per shape. I like the effect that that gives. And there you go. There you have it. That's Rumi.